Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. In today's video, I'll be predicting every single game in the first leg of the round of 16 matchups in the UEFA Champions League. First tie, Copenhagen versus Manchester City. I think this is an interesting tie. Copenhagen were really interesting in that group. I mean, they shocked a lot of people advancing ahead of Manchester United and Galatasaray. And City, they won 18 out of 18 points. So, I mean, you can't get better than that. City obviously have not been the same since last season, but Copenhagen is still a tight, very tough ground to go to. We saw what happened to Bayern, we saw what happened to Galatasaray, and we saw what happened to United. But I'm still going with a Manchester City dub, but not that convincingly. 2-1 victory to Manchester City. Next up, RB Leipzig versus Real Madrid. Away at RB Leipzig, Real Madrid coming into this game with a 4-0 victory over Girona, topping the La Liga table with a 5-point differential, whilst Leipzig continue to drop points and are sitting 5th in the Bundesliga this season. But maybe it's the Champions League where Leipzig turn up. And we know about Xavi Simons. We know about Luis Openda. We saw what they did against City. So, and obviously Real Madrid, ACLs to Alaba, Courtois, Militao is still haunting them. Rudiger will be back. I think him and Nacho or him and Tchouameni will be the centre-back partnership for this game. I think it's going to be an extremely open game. And with both teams' defense not that good, I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Next up, Lazio versus Bayern. Bayern coming into this game off a 3-0 defeat to their rivals in the league table, Bayer Leverkusen. Disgusting defeat. Tuchel, absolutely disaster class. Sané, disaster class. Kane, disaster class. Pretty much every single Bayern player, disaster class. Coming up against Lazio, who have not been, fantastic this season. But there's still a side that, I mean, you should not underestimate. Obviously, this game will be played at the Stadio, Lazio's home stadium. But I see a Bayern victory. Narrow 2-1 victory. Next up, my beautiful club, Paris Saint-Germain versus the dogs, Real Sociedad. Obviously, in the upcoming 2 days, there will come more in-depth videos and podcasts talking about this game, talking about this fixture, how much it means to Paris Saint-Germain to get a big victory. And I definitely believe Paris Saint-Germain will get the result that scares the rest of Europe. 4-1 victory to Paris Saint-Germain. Real Sociedad have only conceded 2 goals in the Champions League this season, but they're going to double that amount, triple that amount. 4-1 to Paris Saint-Germain. I like this highlight. Inter Milan, who once again are spectacular this season in Serie A, recently beating Juventus and then beating Roma, who have been in a great form since Jose Mourinho got sacked for Daniel De Rossi. They beat them 4-2, showcasing that they can win games narrowly, like 1-0 versus Juventus, or they can absolutely thrash a team 4-2 like they did versus AS Roma. Atletico Madrid coming in with, a bit shabby results, but they do have a game today, so we'll see what happens in that game. But with it being at Inter Stadium at the San Siro, I'm going Inter Milan 1-0. PSV versus Dortmund should be an entertaining game, should be a lot of goals. PSV Dortmund, they're not sides that, focus on not conceding goals, trying to be defensive. No, it's the opposite. They want to score as many goals as possible. And Dortmund recently, they have been a bit, mid. Just like Dortmund have always been. But PSV, obviously, this will be an extremely tight game in my opinion. But I'm going with a 3-2 victory to PSV. 5 goals scored in this time. Porto versus Arsenal. Arsenal, as I'm recording, just beat West Ham 6-0. So they're coming in with the most spectacular form. But I think that arrogance against a very Champions League experienced side like Porto, who are at home, will cost Arsenal in the first leg at least. 2-1 to Porto. And lastly but not least, Napoli versus Barcelona, a game that I will probably do a watch along here on the YouTube channel. So tune in, Barca fans. Napoli at their home stadium. Obviously, both teams have not been good this season, but I do think that they're both going to step up for this game. Champions League is what matters. I don't think any of them can win their respective leagues. I think both of them are out of the cup. That's why I'm going with a 1-1 draw. That's been my prediction for the first leg of the round of 16. Let me know in the comments down below. What's your predictions? That's been it for my boy PSG. And as usual, allez Paris.